confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County in the last 24 hours is 733, with 9 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 5 additional cases were reported with no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Rhiannon Trutanich. It's Tuesday, November 23rd. Almost 1 million LA County residents have gotten the COVID-19 booster shot. While the additional dose is available to all fully vaccinated adults, public health officials say the uptake has been uneven throughout the county. Among the 4.8 million residents eligible for the booster, the rate at which people are getting them are lower in the hardest hit, highest need zip codes. 6.9% of residents in those neighborhoods received boosters, compared to 12.6% in other areas. But county officials also say they've had great success vaccinating skilled nursing facility residents. As of November 16th, 98% or 334 of the 341 skilled nursing facilities in LA County had completed or scheduled a booster dose vaccination clinic to take place before the end of last week. This comes as LA County surpassed another grim milestone, more than 27,000 COVID-19 deaths. Public health officials urge anyone who qualifies to get vaccinated and sign up for a booster shot. Just go to myturn.ca.gov. COVID-19 cases continue to rise across the country as we get closer to Thanksgiving Day. Our current pace, about 92,000 new cases each day, is up 16% compared to the past week, putting us back to levels last seen in August. Nearly a third of new cases are in Midwestern states, with Michigan and Minnesota leading the way. But the trend is nationwide. All but a dozen states saw cases climb over the past week. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, says the latest uptick in cases is not unexpected as people spend more time inside with others and as immunity wanes. He adds that we have a lot of virus still circulating, and with millions still unvaccinated, that results in dangerous situations and makes people who are unvaccinated vulnerable. It also spills over into the vaccinated people because no vaccine is 100% effective. Unvaccinated people continue to be the major source of new coronavirus infections in the U.S. right now. About 82 million people, more than a third of those eligible, still have not gotten their first dose. President Joe Biden ordered 50 million barrels of oil to be released from the strategic reserve to bring down energy costs. This move is in coordination with other major energy-consuming nations, including China, India, and the United Kingdom. And it's aimed at global energy markets, but also at Americans coping with higher inflation and rising prices ahead of Thanksgiving and winter holiday travels. The American Automobile Association says gas prices are about $3.40 a gallon, more than 50% higher than their price a year ago. And as you may notice, prices are a lot higher here in LA. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is an emergency stockpile to preserve access to oil in case of natural disasters, national security issues, and other events. There are roughly 605 million barrels of petroleum in the reserve, and a spokesperson says the president's action emphasizes his commitment to use available tools to bring down costs for working families and continue our economic recovery. Americans used an average of 20.7 million barrels a day during September, according to the Energy Information Administration. That means the release nearly equals about 2.5 days of additional supply. The ports of LA and Long Beach will delay fining companies for having their containers lingering on the docks. They issued a joint statement Monday saying they've seen significant improvements in the supply chain since late last month, a 33% drop in idle cargo. The directors at each site are satisfied with the progress made so far and will continue to monitor the situation. And for now, they've decided to hold off on imposing the container dwell fees until November 29th, after Black Friday and Cyber Monday, two of the biggest shopping days of the year. The ports of LA and Long Beach account for 40% of sea freight entering the U.S. Once reimposed, carriers would have 9 days to move containers by truck and 6 days if transporting by rail before fines start to accrue. Carriers would be charged $100 for each lingering container per day. The fees have been delayed several times since it was announced last month. Federal officials are seeking more than $160,000 in fines from just 8 airline passengers over alcohol-related incidents. The Federal Aviation Administration says one fine is the biggest ever at $40,000. It involves one passenger who brought alcohol on the plane and drank it, smoked marijuana in the lavatory, and sexually assaulted a flight attendant on a Southwest Airlines flight from San Jose to San Diego in April. The FAA did not identify any of the 8 passengers, but they face a total of $161,823 in civil penalties. In some cases, airline crews had to divert their flights so they could land more quickly in response to the passengers' erratic behaviors. Unruly passengers on planes have become a growing concern for airlines during the pandemic. More than 5,000 incidents were reported to the FAA this year. Most of the incidents involve passengers refusing to wear face masks while on planes, and nearly 300 involved intoxicated passengers. Glass bottles are in short supply, and that means drink enthusiasts could have a harder time finding their favorite wine and spirits. International freight delays, labor shortages, and higher costs have contributed to the supply chain challenges for glass suppliers and their customers. From whiskey distilleries in Kentucky to winemakers in California, the demand for glass bottles outpaced supply this year, partially due to the pandemic. David Osgo, the chief economist for the Distilled Spirits Council, says the shortages are being felt throughout the sector, from tequila to vodka to whiskey. Even some of the large distilleries with multi-year contracts for millions of bottles are finding in some cases that they have to pick and choose which bottle sizes they're going to get. He adds that this could eventually lead to even tighter supply of smaller volume bottles because the emphasis will likely go to the more popular sizes, such as the 750 milliliter and the 1.75 liter. So if there's a special bottle you want for the holiday season, you might have to go back to the store a few times before you find it. But given that there are more than 16,000 spirits-based products marketed in any given year, 2021 could also be the year to try a new drink. Compared to the more than $20 billion in scam activities seen with California's unemployment benefits during the pandemic, scam activities involving California's rental assistance has been virtually non-existent. The state's Department of Housing and Community Development identified 1,800 fraudulent rental assistance applications out of the nearly 500,000. That is 0.0036%, and none of that was paid. The agency's deputy director, Jeffrey Ross, says they were mindful of California's unemployment benefit situation that has become the most expensive government fraud case in state history. All of the fraudulent applications were detected easily and early, and he says they learned a lot from previous programs. Congress approved $46.5 billion in rental assistance earlier this year, and most states are distributing the first portion of $25 billion. California is currently averaging about $100 million payments per week, and to avoid fraud, state officials are cross-checking applications against death certificates and lists of prison inmates. According to the U.S. Treasury Department, more than $10 billion has gone out through September 30th, and officials say that is helping many families from facing eviction. As we head into Black Friday, millions of Americans are still paying for last year's holiday shopping. More than 35 million people, about 29% of shoppers who purchased gifts with their credit cards last year, still have not paid off their balances. NerdWallet says around a third of millennials, those ages 25 to 40, have this debt. And it seems like history may repeat itself. 75% of shoppers are likely to charge their gifts to their credit cards this year. and the average they spend, $620. More than a third of holiday shoppers say they'll shop local and small this year to support businesses in their communities. And supply chain issues will continue to be a concern. NerdWallet's survey found nearly 7 in 10 holiday shoppers anticipate not being able to purchase the big ticket items on their shopping lists. Still, shoppers will be quite generous with their family and friends this holiday season. Overall, they are predicted to spend an average of $762 for their loved ones. To help keep the holidays bright, the Better Business Bureau is sharing its 12 Scams of Christmas list to give Americans a heads up when it comes to the season's top scams. Stephen McFarland, the president and CEO of BBBLA and Silicon Valley, says the #1 scam is misleading social media ads that are for online goods and services. For example, you may see ads for free trials or goods, and the goods don't arrive or are late and counterfeit. In some cases, people can even be charged a monthly fee for the unwanted goods or services. He says a lot of the scammers are playing into the pandemic and the shipping crisis, and the best thing to do is just ignore ads that seem too good to be true. Here is the rest of the top 12 scams of Christmas list. They include social media gift exchanges, such as suggesting purchasing $10 gifts online or exchanging bottles of wine. Holiday apps, some can contain malware and more ads than actually useful content. And alerts about compromised accounts where scammers can reach out via a call, email, or text, prompting you to take action. To learn more about each of these scams and how they work, go to bbb.org. If you want your dog to be on a can of Budweiser beer, applications are now open. The beer giant unveiled its 2021 limited edition holiday cans and announced the contest for next year's Pupweiser. This year's cans feature a Dalmatian puppy and winter landscapes with plaid designs. One can also has this year's contest winner, Wilson, a St. Bernard from Ohio. Wilson won the nationwide search for the perfect pooch to play a starring role on Bud's holiday cans. Dog owners have until December 15th to enter their pet to be featured on next year's beer cans. Budweiser's website provides easy ways people can enter on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you're just curious to see how your pet will look on a can of Bud, you can upload a picture on Budweiser's website. Here's Christine Lee's new dog, Somi. She makes a great model, too. Just by entering the contest, Budweiser will donate $1 to ASPCA, a nonprofit dedicated to preventing cruelty to animals. And even if you don't win the contest, you can still get your pup on a personalized Budweiser can. Just scan the QR code on Wilson's can or go to Budweiser's website and upload a photo you want on a can. If you are planning to deep fry your turkey for the first time this Thursday, be careful. Check out this video that a fire department shared of deep frying frozen turkey gone bad. Cooking experts say don't go for the biggest bird. The ideal turkey for deep frying is 12 pounds or less. Make sure to completely thaw and dry your turkey if you don't want to start a fire. Don't stuff the turkey. Keep the stuffing separate to ensure that your bird cooks evenly and thoroughly. Set up your fryer in a safe spot outside, at least 10 feet from your house and other structures, and out of the wind on a flat, non-flammable surface. Use the right type and amount of oil. Choose an oil with a high smoke point, such as peanut, canola, or safflower. Never leave the frying turkey unattended. Cook the turkey 3 to 5 minutes per pound using a thermometer to ensure it's fully cooked. Don't let kids or pets play near the fryer, and give your cooked turkey time to cool down before carving. About 20 minutes should do. Deep frying a turkey is said to help seal in the moisture, allowing the turkey to be incredibly juicy on the inside while having a crispy outside. The USDA recommends thawing your turkey in the refrigerator, allowing 1 day per 4 to 5 pounds of weight. The Torrance City Council will not meet tonight to discuss city business. It is a previously scheduled dark night. The next meeting will take place on Tuesday, December 7th. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community, pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. A Torrance resident who is also a local business owner started a food drive during the pandemic to help people in need. Akriti Sinha sent us these photos, saying since April 2020, she single-handedly started to make 100 food bags. She teamed up with Giving from the Heart Foundation by providing meals and caring hands for children by sponsoring education for several kids annually. She also worked with about 20 other women to stitch and distribute more than 10,000 masks across the U.S. And as if that's not enough, she says she also raised money to give books and toys to children and distributed food to the hospitals for our healthcare heroes. She says she found so much joy in giving back that she decided to hold a food drive every month. They gather every third Saturday and make more than 100 brown bags, which are decorated by kids at her learning center called the Creativity Land. She says the kids are there, involved, and learning about the importance of giving to society. What a wonderful way to show how Torrance truly cares. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, photo, video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. We'll see you back here tomorrow as Christine Lee brings you the latest, including how to keep COVID-19 out while welcoming family into your home for Thanksgiving. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.